Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at the latest generation for the Polaris Slingshot. This is the SL model. Huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this fun toy for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description below. So this Slingshot is finished off in a very nice red along with all the black accents. They have a starting MSRP just under $27,000. Now this is front engine. It's powered by a 1997cc 4-cylinder engine that's paired to the 5-speed automatic that is new for the Polaris Slingshot. This pumps out 178 horsepower, 120 pound-feet of torque. It is belt driven to the single rear wheel. This weighs in just over 1,600 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds. Top speed is 120 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 9.8 gallons. You'll expect to see around 25 miles per gallon in the city, 28 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 105 inches. Its overall length is 149.6. It has a width of 79.9, a height of 51.9. Its ground clearance measures in at 5 inches. And as we work our way to the exterior styling now, there's not a whole lot to talk about. Up front, you'll notice that there's a central light right in the middle underneath the Polaris badge. Polaris is also stamped in the plastic, and then to release the hood, that release is actually up front. So you do that and then pull the entire hood towards you, and that's how you can get it to open up. Now the turn signals are over on that far edge. There's also some DRLs, and then you can opt for some more lighting in the lower section. For this model, there's just some cutouts there. You can also see a lot of that front tire there with the design overall. And then there's more plastic in the lower section and some additional cutouts. Gives it a very unique front end with all of the lines going up into what would be the windshield there. As we work our way to the side, really nice set of wheels with that two-tone design. Basic brakes are on this model here. There's also this panel just behind that, just to keep any debris from coming up on the tires there. This isn't a step or anything. It is not functional for that, but it's going to give you protection since there's no doors or really any protection aside from the roll bar on the side there. You have the mirrors that are mounted on the back, and then more plastic in the back, of course. There's the carbon fiber belt for that rear wheel where you'll notice there's one shock there. And then in back, there's LEDs for the taillights. There's also a backup camera for this model, and then the license plate bracket is just above that rear tire. There's also Slingshot SL with the brake light just above that with that spine design there, which is neat to see. There's also the headrests and the roll bars up above there. And then fuel cap is located behind the driver's seat there. So that's a quick look at the exterior. It's pretty easy to hop into this as well. You'll see more of the caging there, and we have a nice set of two-tone seats. Now you'll notice too that there's actually storage behind the seats as well. So you can open these up. You have a little bit in the middle here with a 12 volt there, and then also behind the passenger side. So you do get a little bit of storage. It's not much, but for a toy like this, you're not really looking to drive this long distances. You could, but as we look at the steering wheel now, it's finished off in solid leather. On this left side, you have volume and tuning adjustments. On the right side, there's cruise control settings as well as the red button right in the middle there. And then for the gauge cluster, it looks like it's out of a jet ski or some kind of Polaris like that. You have miles per hour on the left side, TAC on the right side, and then a few modes that you can go through. But let's fire this up. This is actually a push button. So let's bring this to life. And looking at the rest of the gauge cluster now, you'll notice with the LCD screen in the middle, there's your fuel level along with the time. You have temperatures, miles per hour. There's also these mode buttons where you can go through a little bit more of the vitals within the middle of that screen. Now, if you push on this red button over on the right side, this is how you can get into, it says Slingshot mode. So I'm assuming that is a driving mode. You have comfort mode, and then you push on it again, we're back to Slingshot mode. So we'll have to test that once we get this out on the road, of course. Now you also get a 7-inch infotainment system here where you can go through quite a lot. You can pull up all of these vitals. You can look at the navigation when you have that installed. You have your phone. There's also Slingshot and comfort mode, so you can go through that. You can even get into the backup camera, which is definitely helpful. There's your music, you have volume as well, toggles for your hazards and traction control with the engine start-stop. A little bit of storage, and then here's your gear selector. So with my foot on the brake, just push on R, and that camera will appear. Now there's actually nowhere for park, so just push on neutral, pull the e-brake, and then you can shut it off. You do get cup holders in the middle, and then a little bit of storage in the armrest there. And like I said, you have a little bit in the back, and you do get a glove box that is lockable. That is actually fairly large with some auxiliaries in it too. And then as far as visibility goes, it is helpful to have that backup camera, but obviously you pretty much have a 360 view to be able to see all around. So as we set off now behind the wheel for the Polaris Slingshot, one thing that I forgot to mention, there's a sticker right in the middle here that says this is considered a motorcycle, always wear proper head equipment. Now, that also varies depending on the state that you live in, but there are a few other states where you can either wear a helmet or not wear a helmet, just depending on where you live. I know North Carolina is a helmet state for motorcycles, so I would assume that legally I need to wear a helmet while I am behind the wheel. Now, one thing that I want to talk about with this Slingshot, I have been able to drive the manual before. The manual was introduced in the Slingshot originally, and it was out for a couple years before they decided to bring an automatic. So it's really cool that they do have the automatic if you're not a manual type of person, or you just want a fun toy where you don't have to worry about going through the gears. Now I will say though, with this 5-speed automatic, I don't know if it's a dual clutch or not. I didn't see anything on that, but you can definitely feel the shifts as if this was a manual transmission vehicle. So it does give you some drama to it, which is nice to see. There's no paddle shifters or anything, so it's basically just a normal automatic. Woo! That's got some power to it. Definitely a lot of fun to drive. And wind noise is what you'd expect. It's an open top. You can get some windshields, you can get roofs for them, so you can get a full roll cage as well if you want to get a little bit out of the sun there. But honestly, it's a really fun toy to drive. It's really neat to see these bulges in the hood there over the tires on both sides. It really just gives it a unique look. Now, as far as this being, let's go through the different driving modes. So I'm in comfort mode right now. I'm not sure if that was in a Slingshot mode before. But in comfort mode, we'll give it another acceleration here. And here we go. You can kind of hear the delay in the shift, like you are in a manual. So let's slow it down. We'll put it into Slingshot mode. I'm not sure if this is for the suspension or for your throttle response. I think it's for your throttle response. This is a lot of fun. It is like an old school single clutch feel, which is very interesting, but it gives you that driver excitement and engagement, a little bit of characteristic, I'll say, to this. It's definitely fun to drive. If you're not a motorcycle type of person, you want to be a little bit more comfortable sitting, you still have some ample amount of storage where you can put some items as needed and just have fun having that open wind experience without having to be on two wheels. So you have an extra wheel, you have a three-wheeler here, basically a trike, and it's definitely a lot of fun. We have the speakers too, so you have audio, and I'm sure you could possibly hear it. You could also put in headphones like I have in my helmet where you could listen to music as well. I wish we had some more twisties to really test the handling of this, but I could see this being a really fun toy, just going through the mountains, going for a cruise like you would on a motorcycle. So if you are looking for just that fun factor, this is not a daily driver by any means. And let's see what its turning radius is like here. And it's pretty short here, so that's good. Maneuverability is easy, or would be. And then there's that delay as we get back up to speed. It's a lot of fun. The manual is also fun too, so check out that full review. I drove that last year sometime. It's a neat, fun little vehicle to drive. So if you're looking for just that fun toy, this is really neat to drive. So a huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing the Slingshot for me today. Take a look at our website. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it. and consider smashing that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.